Hello, everyone. It's time for more of our top 100 favorite non superhero movies list. And joining me, as always, is Austin the Day Ghost
Hi, everybody.
and Connor Nielsen.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
We're going to do five more of these for you. And last time we went to number 70. No, I'm sorry. Even further than that. 66 was the last number we hit. My 66 was Aladdin. That's the last thing I talked about. What were your 66s? Just remind us where we left off.
Little
Um,
Shop of Horrors.
and mine was The Tree of Life.
So we'll see if either of those movies, one more likely than the other, will have any connection with any of our 65s. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you if you're watching right now. Thanks for hanging out with us after the fact. And we always spend 10 minutes talking about whatever nonsense before we start. So I swear to God, I'm going to actually get us going right away with this. It'll be amazing. Connor, what is your number 65?
Number 65 is it's a movie that a lot of people really like. I'm curious to know how it holds up. I'm sure the kids that watched this 12 years ago when it came out, like it still holds a special fondness in their heart. It started a franchise that didn't really go anywhere, so I'm just kind of curious to know what the tale in terms of the life that this movie has is. But it is Phil Lord and Chris Miller's The Lego Movie.
Wow.
Um,
Okay, so
Everything is awesome.
can I stop you for just a second and say the
Go for it.
only reason that is not on my list is because we counted it on the superhero list. And so it is
Oh,
totally
okay,
cool that
fair
you
enough.
included it, but it is on our official list of things that can and probably will be reviewed on the commentary project.
Okay, okay. Well, my bad. I
No,
made
not
an
at
Man,
all.
I
error
wouldn't have guessed that. I would have also made that mistake.
again. Um, Yeah, it's funny you say that because this is one that I wanted to rewatch to see if it still made my list. But honestly, like in terms of the sort of Gen X millennial sort of postmodern kind of self-referential movie kind of functions as an essay on the brand sort of movie. I think this is one of the best there is, and it's a pretty great kids movie. It sort of works, I think, as a hero's journey story, but also a sort of winking send up of hero's journey. I can definitely relate to what ultimately is the kid telling this story because I was raised on these monomyth, chosen one, prophecy type things. There's really kind of twin flames, right? There's the Lego movie and there's Epic movie. Both of them are kind of doing the same thing. And
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah, Epic movie did not make my cut because I do consider Captain Jack Swallows to be a superhero. And also Superman is in that movie. I guess Superman's also in this
Hey,
movie.
Batman's
So
in that movie.
yeah, and Green Lantern. And you know what? I'm gonna stop with this comparison. Who
Yeah, but
needs it?
Batman's one of the
But
main characters.
yes, you're right.
Superman in Epic Movie is one of the main characters,
and
technically.
and Superman is also Angel from the X-Men. So, uh,
Exactly.
anyways, but the Lego Movie, I think, Cap, you have mentioned. I'm shocked this is not this was not going to be on your list, but I
It
guess you've
it should be,
explained
but I
why.
think the thing is, I think I had it on my top 100 for superhero.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And so
Makes
I've
sense.
already talked about it on one of these.
So I guess I'll be brief. Geek Evolution has a lot of content about the Lego Movie that can be speak more at length and I think in greater detail than I can in talking about this. I will just kind of say an anecdote about my first exposure to the Lego Movie. I was 18 when it came out. I was working my first job out of high school, and it was February of 2014. And the weekend this came out, it snowed for the first time in a very long time in Portland, Oregon. I remember my mom and my stepdad were actually leaving town the day it started snowing. They knew it was snowing, so they stocked up their fridge and stuff. That was sort of their payment for my brother and I to look after their house and their dog while they were gone. And I remember what we did was we walked through the snow to the movie theater that I would later work at later that year. And we watched the Lego movie and then we walked home. And that is one of those like kind of formative young adult movie going experiences. And then a couple of days later, when the snow was melting, I took my little brother to go see it and I liked it even more. I think it's very funny. The animation is wonderful. I think that Phil Lord and Chris Miller, with this and 22 Jump Street coming out in the same year, sort of firmly established themselves as two of the most exciting filmmakers to come out of their generation. And so they then promptly didn't release a film that they directed for an entire boyhood. But, you know, obviously Solo is kind of the big elephant in the room with that. But I think this movie's great. I really want to watch it again. I quote it a lot, and Everything is Awesome is a total earworm. So number 65, right, is going to be the Lego movie. Oh, and it's totally lame that this was not nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars.
That's
Like,
insane.
what the worst?
Oh, was it
Like,
not?
I
it
mean,
was
it,
no.
at least they got it later for Spider-Man.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Which
I also think the Lego movie is more deserving of it probably than Spider-Man, as much as I like that movie.
see, that's the thing is, I recently rewatched Spider-Verse, and I did have like a come to Jesus moment with that movie. So I don't know which one I would put above.
Oh, wow,
Into
really?
the Spider-Verse or this. Yeah, I enjoyed Into the Spider-Verse the first time I watched it, but I'm like, it's fine, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that movie. But when I watched it before Across the Spider-Verse, I was like, oh my god, I think this might be the best Spider-Man movie. Like, as a non
In certain
Spider-Man
ways it
fan, I
is.
need to,
Yeah.
yeah, but again, it is kind of. I feel like Lord and Miller are a little bit like the Grant Morrison. They have a bit of a Grant Morrison effect, where like Grant Morrison loves doing things that I have spent my entire adult life realizing are lame, but Grant Morrison can do it
Yeah.
amazingly. No one else can. Um, Phil Lord and Chris Miller can do the sort of like millennial kind of disaffected, but like we're nerdy, so we're like, oh, has anyone ever noticed that kind of humor? And it works. Like they can do the what if we made a Spider-Man movie where Spider-Man teaches Spider-Man what it means to be Spider-Man, which is like now just a thing we do with every Spider-Man story, and I hate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They remade Spider-Verse and called it No Way Home, and it's like the worst movie ever.
Yeah.
But Into the Spider-Verse is excellent. So explain that to me. I don't know.
When even in terms of the Oscar thing, like I don't even like the Lego movie, but I also agree like that should have been nominated. Like it's a beautiful looking movie, if nothing else.
Mhm.
And like I'm also in the minority of not liking that movie, but like it should have been nominated.
That's I know
my
other
point.
other people that didn't have the same experience Connor and I did with it. Vince doesn't like that movie either.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I don't know. I had like a spiritual experience with it.
Oh, Austin, you also don't care for 22 Jump Street, right?
Yeah, because I, I have that thing where I'm like, I have what you were talking about with Lord and Miller with 21 Jump Street, and then I get hit immediately with 22 and Lego Movie, and I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. Take them back. I'm good.
This is a slight aside, but I don't think we're gonna have a chance to talk about it ever for the rest of this list.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Easy A with Emma Stone
Yes.
from 2010?
Not since it came out. It's been forever, but I
Okay.
did see it.
She has like a voiceover narration in that, and there's like kind of this whole thing where she's like not sleeping with people, but she's letting it be rumored that she's sleeping with people in exchange for them to give her stuff. And like she's like, okay, I gave this person, you know, I said I did this with that person, and they gave me this. And she's like, I said I gave this to Phil Lord, I gave this to Christopher Miller, and I'm like, wait a minute. Lord and Miller get like name checked in
Weird.
that movie, and
That's
it's like kind
funny.
of, I'm like, are they friends with the director or something? What's up with that? Anyways,
Yeah, because that's before 21 Jump Street, even, isn't
yeah,
it?
they
Yeah.
just I think they'd only done Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs at that point. I want to say.
True, I forgot they
I've
did
never seen
that.
that either. I was meant to.
Yeah, and I've not seen that.
I don't know if I've seen it. Anyways, that's all. That's the Lego movie.
But yeah, Connor, I've talked about this before, but I'll just say this real quick since I'm not going to talk about this on my list. The reason I had such an experience with that in the theater is I was tracking what I thought was all of this social commentary about like uh corporate America dumbing everything down, and like that's in there, but when it flips in the third act and it becomes about a kid who sees his father as oppressive and all of the social commentary was on like a personal level with this kid, that just really resonated with me and always struck me as kind of a stroke of genius, where you have this like really interesting bait and switch thematically that I'd never really seen
It's very
done
cool.
like that.
And it does sort of have like this thing that I'm trying to remember what movie it was that we were talking about in a previous video, but it does kind of have this like kind of undercurrent subtext of like being raised by entertainment,
Yes.
and like you want to start playing with it like it's your toy, and it's like entertainment as play. Oh no, it's going back to Toy Story. When we were talking about Toy Story 5, like
Yeah.
um and so, but it's not like a Toy Story ripoff. Like it feels like it's kind of continuing the ideas of like a Toy Story without really treading the Toy Story ground. It's really cool.
Well, and I also really like it as a commercial, with like what it's
Yeah, it's
saying about, because it's a corporate product that is talking about the way uh individual children and then the society at large is affected by corporate products, but like it's the smartest possible way for Lego to sell itself as a big screen entertainment, which is to say, yeah, we know that we sell these things in boxes that tell you exactly how you're supposed to build the thing, but like it's yours now. Play with it any way you want to. Which is
Mhm.
going to feel even more relevant the further and further we get into an all digital future with media. Which is a thought I just now had, but like a corporate product telling you you actually physically own this thing that we made for you and you should play with it any way you want to, even though we have instructions that tell you a certain way that you can play with it. That,
Mhm.
for lack of a better way of putting it, hit me in the feels in the theater.
It's really cool, and similar to what I was saying earlier, where I'm like, I don't know how Lord and Miller do a thing that I have grown a distaste for, but when I see them do it, it hits for me. I think like we have definitely, especially post Lego movie, we live in this era where like corporations and brands realize if we're irreverent towards ourselves and self-deprecating, it actually works for us. And so you'll have a lot of like the Wendy's Twitter account, or you'll have this and that like being self-deprecating. And like for example, when the Barbie movie came out, I saw like some people, you know, Gen X going like, I can't believe Mattel let them release that. I'm like, then you have not been paying attention to corporate culture for the last 10 years because this is the most like thing. But like with
Yeah.
Lego movie, it does have a sense of humor about like the Lego Corporation and like the Lego like fandom and like Lego
It's not
people.
exactly
But it
self-deprecating though.
like it has a sense of humor about
Yeah.
itself. Yeah, I guess I self-deprecating isn't maybe the right term,
Well,
but
but
like
that's what I'm
I
saying
can
is
see.
that's what puts it above some of those others to me, is that it walks this line where it can kind of poke fun at itself, but it's not like look how stupid we are with what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like I said, just the context of it's this kid that just wants to be imaginative with it, and his dad won't let him because he's rigid, and it has to be like he plays with them the way adults play with things.
Mhm.
I and that helped it not feel like it was doing the being so irreverent about it, even though it's
Yeah.
very meta all at the same time.
Mhm. And you know what else is meta? Scream. And we all love
we all
Scream.
like
We
we all
all
love
love Scream.
Scream, right? Okay, Austin, what is your
Exactly.
75 or wherever we're at? 75,
It's
65.
Bum, 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 bum,
It's
bum.
back, folks.
It's back. Let's see. No, too far.
Which one is it?
It is Mothra versus Godzilla.
How many are going to be in this
Yeah.
list?
Shut up. But it's Mothra versus Godzilla, which is a fantastic movie. And in the same way that Invasion of Astro Monster is basically Star Trek and Godzilla come together at last, even though it's before Star Trek, this is very much James Bond is out and is very cool. So, like, let's make the human side a James Bond movie. And so all of that's really cool. Um, and of course, it's got in a way, it's kind of a remake of the original Mothra because we do the whole they're going to use the egg and they're going to sell it, and they're trying to get the fairies as well, and we got to keep them away from that nasty corporation that wants to profit off of them. And the only thing that we add is a Godzilla who just woke up after the world's biggest bender and is completely hungover and like tripping over everything. Like, he's not even really that malicious. He's just like a hungover asshole who keeps bumping into stuff, and they're like, we got to get rid of this guy, and it's endlessly entertaining. And like I said, because the human side is so like Bondian. Oh wait, sorry, no, I'm like mixing it up with the movie after it, which I just had a moment. Sorry, but no, it's more so on like the corporate side. But even that, like, I really enjoy all of that. I feel so stupid now. It's like, Austin, you don't even know the movie in your list.
He's like, can we just say the movies? Do we have to talk about them?
Number 64 is Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster.
Exactly, yeah. The entire time Connor's like, what an idiot. He's not even talking about the right movie. But the rest of it is correct.
I was just thinking, I mean, I guess, that guy kind of has a bit of a Bond villain thing going about him. He looks a little bit like Odd Job, I suppose.
There's maybe some of it, not as much as in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, which is very much the Bond Godzilla movie. But no, I do like all the satire on the corporate side with trying to sell it. Again, like the original Mothra, it's very much just like their take on the original King Kong, and I think it's really cool to see that from a different lens. And yeah, all the monster action is awesome, and Godzilla getting taken out by two babies at the end is like endlessly funny. But that's what happens when you're not actively trying to fight and are just hungover.
The Godzilla scenes are very funny in that movie. They're great.
Yeah. No, the best is when he like he trips into the pagoda and he like lands jaw first and it like unhinges the jaw in the suit. So for the rest of the movie, it's just like hanging low. It's
Got a little
awesome.
bit of a Stallone sloop.
Yeah, exactly.
So after watching the original Mothra, I really appreciate that movie now as a sequel to Mothra. And that movie does feel very much like it is half of a Godzilla movie and half of a Mothra movie. And the human
Yeah.
plot, really good job at like straddling the line.
Yeah, I agree because you have like the side where we're dealing with the fairies, and the other side where it's like that, classic like the army attacking Godzilla
Mhm.
as he's rampaging. I agree with that completely. Like, it is really balanced on. It is both of their movies, probably even more so than like the King Kong versus Godzilla movie, which like still does like is a pretty good job at tackling both. But Mothra versus Godzilla is probably even stronger in that aspect.
And it does like I mean Godzilla's, his bender was called Fighting King Kong, right? He's still a little like,
Oh yeah,
oh,
he's
he
so.
comes up out of the ground. He's like, oh my god.
Well, and that's the other thing is it's the weirdest Godzilla introduction because he just emerges from the ground.
Well, it's because at the end of King Kong versus Godzilla, he burrows into the
Yeah, I guess
earth,
yeah, they
right?
fall into the sea and he burrows in. Yeah, exactly. No, I showed that to a friend recently, and he was like, "What is happening? Why is he underground?" Like, I don't know, just go with it, man.
He's
That's where
Godzilla.
he
Who
was. Yeah,
knows? Who
exactly.
knows why Godzillas do what they do, right?
Exactly. He is living the Hangover trilogy right now. He's got to figure out why he ended up underground. He's tracing his steps back, and then he made Joker after. I don't know. Cap, what is your 65?
Well, my 65 is definitely more related to the one movie that Connor has talked about more than so far, more than the movie you just talked about, because it's also a kids movie, and my 65 is the greatest children's film ever made about cultural appropriation. It's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Night Before Christmas has one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, and it's one of my favorite musicals for the music, of course. I like almost every song in Night Before Christmas. There's like one that's kind of irritating, but most of it I love. I think Sally's Song is one of the greatest musical song like ballads ever written, and it's some of Danny Elfman's best work, both in the sung songs and in the score. Although, if you go back to this period, you'll notice so much of Nightmare and everything else he writes around it. Batman Returns and Nightmare Before Christmas have a lot of the same score, and they're both like wonderfully appropriate for each of those movies. But oh my god, Making Christmas is in everything that he does in like a 5 year span, maybe even a little bit past that. But like, go back to Batman Returns and like don 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 don. It's all over that movie, and then it's like a main theme of Nightmare. I mean, like, what do I need to say about Night Before Christmas? It's brilliant. Stop motion animation. There's nothing. There was nothing that looked like it before that, and then there have been several kind of copycats since then, or things where Tim Burton's gone back and tried to kind of recreate the style a little bit, but it's still is very unique, and nothing else has ever quite touched it and given us exactly that same kind of feeling. It has the distinction of being one of the only films that is as insanely popular as it is, and continues to this day, and maybe more so the last few years than even a lot before that, to be just merchandised constantly. That has not had a sequel and has not been ruined for people by having crappy like lesser sequels. And Beetlejuice shared that distinction with it for a long time, and unfortunately that has subsequently been ruined. But it's cool how super timeless it is, and how it hasn't, not that a bad sequel would like mess up Before Christmas, but it's nice that when you bring it up, there's nothing else you have to talk about. It's not one of those movies where it's like, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Which one are you talking about? The one with Willy Wonka in the title. Stop it. I
Wonka?
you don't have to, you don't have to go into the reboot or the sequel conversation with it. Jack Skellington is one of the great like animated protagonist designs of all time. It sticks with you, and the the only major problem with Night Before Christmas that I don't know how to not bring this up whenever I talk about this movie is it has a bit of a weak third act. I've never loved how it kind of degenerates into almost a superhero movie by the end, where like it's just a big showdown with him and a bad guy. It always felt kind of compromised to me, and like that probably wasn't originally where it was going. And it kind of has to get sort of Disneyfied, and like it is a Disney movie, and it's a Disney movie in a lot of ways. Austin and I have talked a lot about how Jack Skellington is a Disney princess and has the "I Want More" song at the beginning. And like I said, his "I Want More" song is about his uh being tired of the same old thing, and which I think is even a lyric, and how there's just no challenge in his life, and he's kind of like, almost worshipped by his community, for being, such a great pumpkin king. But he's like, there's got to be more out there than just this same tired, like, song and dance I do every year. And then he goes and he discovers Christmas, which is almost, and I know like Christmas is a religious thing, but forgetting the Christ in Christmas for a minute, it's almost like a religious experience for him, where like he discovers Christmas and he almost wants to convert to another religion just because he's kind of bored with the one he has. And I was like that aspect of it. And I feel like more could have been done with that idea, but but this notion of trying to like crack what the feeling of Christmas and the point of Christmas is all about, is interesting. And like, there's a lot of Christmas movies about the true meaning of Christmas. It's like usually what you do with a Christmas movie. And I kind of like that we made one where the protagonist never really figures that out. Really, by the end of the movie, he just kind of throws his hands in the air and goes, "Yeah, I'm not compatible with this. I'm never going to really understand this other holiday. I should probably just stay in my lane." And that's, I don't know. That's very amusing. But anyway, a lot of just something else I was going to mention. I can't remember. A lot of uh, just unique visual stuff that always sticks with me. Um, I've seen Nightmare Before Christmas recently in the theater again. I think I went as a kid. And Mikey had a period where he was obsessed with this movie, and now he acts too cool for school, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't care about that movie anymore." He'll come back around, I'm sure. And I took him to a live orchestra concert, that was the Kansas City Symphony playing the whole score while you're watching the film, and that was wonderful, and was a neat experience that I was also supposed to do with Batman '89, and then that got canceled, and I'll I'll never forgive them for canceling that. But anyway, yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas. That's my 65.
Do they have a thing where they just like playing Tim Burton music, or sorry, Danny Elfman music?
No, because the '89 one was actually a traveling show. So it wasn't even the
Oh,
Kansas City
okay.
Symphony, and something happened where they like 2 weeks ahead of it they had to cancel it and they couldn't come to our town, and we were the only one that got canceled as far as I could tell. It seemed like
Oh,
every other place
Oh,
on
that's the
their
giant
list
middle finger.
they made it. Yeah. Did you guys know
um,
that
I
Sally was voiced by Catherine O'Hara?
Yep.
I only knew that when she passed.
For the longest time, I didn't know that, and then I was
Yeah, I
shocked
feel
when I
like it's only been
discovered
in the
that.
last couple of years I've learned that.
It's really interesting.
I mean, that's I mean, what a career to have, where it's like you're in a movie as popular as that, and like you're not like a traditionally a voice actress. Like you would
Yeah,
kind of expect that to almost be like the thing people would know you for.
and she
You
really
know,
disappears in it.
yeah, no, it's cool.
Because I
I
mean,
was gonna say,
she's playing like moms in everything, and then suddenly she's playing this like kind of like childish doll. I mean, like Sally's a very teenagery kind of character, and
Mhm.
has a very like born yesterday sort of quality. So it's neat uh, how she disappears with it, and of course with her and Jack, you have different singing actors, and I didn't know that with that was Danny Elfman when I was a kid, of course, and he sounds shockingly close to the speaking role, like it really works.
Yeah, it does work really well, and it makes a lot of Oingo Boingo music really funny, where you go, "Oh, this
It
is just
does.
Jack Skellington."
Because I've listened to some of that recently. Because Jason was on an Oingo Boingo kick for a while, and he played me some stuff. There's a specific album where there's like every other song. It sounds like Nightmare.
I've not listened to a lot of Oingo Boingo, but they use a movie that did not make the cut was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, and that has an Oingo Boingo song in the opening scene that they are playing like the entirety of, and
Oh,
it's pretty
crazy.
awesome.
That movie's
Um,
awesome.
it is great. But I just picked up Mars Attacks on 4K because they just put it out on
I
Tuesday,
gotta get
and I
that.
watched the. I just I'd never seen it before, and I was watching the first like 20, 30 minutes of it. The music in that is
It's
awesome.
so good.
It's really cool. So I've only seen The Nightmare Before Christmas one time when I was
Oh
like 10.
wow.
Yeah, and I own it. I picked up the 4K when they put it out, and I was like, well, I'm gonna watch this. I guess this is like kind of like a classic question. Is it a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie, Cap? Which one do you prefer watching it around?
Well, I was gonna say this is my last big point about this is that it's one of the most brilliant pieces of marketing ever made ever because it works perfectly as both and it gets merchandised all through the seasons. And so,
Mhm.
like, if you're a Halloween person, you buy Nightmare stuff, and if you're a Christmas person, you buy Nightmare stuff. And because the protagonist is on the Halloween side and ultimately kind of made a big mistake by kidnapping Santa Claus and trying to appropriate Christmas, it does kind of lean more on the Halloween side as a piece, I guess. But boy, as a marketing thing, as a piece of merchandise, there's never been anything
Mhm.
else like that that straddles holidays.
Yeah. You just kind of describing the concept of it. Like I've known what it is, but just like you putting it that way, there's like a there's like a humor to the concept, which is like how in like Europe, like Christmas is sort of like a way to like kind of uh Christianify like kind of like pagan holidays and like the solstices and stuff like that. And um in terms of like what time of the year they do it and like kind of incorporating like those traditions into like a more Anglo-Saxon tradition. It's kind of funny that you have Halloween people trying to co-opt Christmas as opposed to Christmas trying to co-opt something else. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty funny.
Well,
um
Christmas is so massively popular, it doesn't need to crib from anything else. Although, like, Halloween, especially these days, is also like that.
yeah.
And I'm joking when I say it's a cultural appropriation movie because like it kind of is if you really think about it. But I'm not saying that Jack Skellington is doing anything wrong by trying to understand or celebrate Christmas. The only mistake he made was kidnapping Santa Claus. That's when it's a
Yeah.
bridge too far. I think you can
It's
celebrate
funny.
Christmas. Like I don't have any problem with that.
Oh yeah, no, totally. I just
No, get back in your Halloween lane.
I feel bad for the people living in St. Patrick's Land. That must be the most boring holiday
oh, what are
land.
you
They're
Everything's
so
speak for
drunk. They are
yourself
having the
there.
greatest time.
Oh, that's true. That's
Godzilla
true.
from Mothra versus Godzilla's there, and he's having a great
Well, look, I
time.
wasn't because it's a Christmas thing. I wasn't even thinking about the alcohol side of it. I was just like, well, it's green and there's a lot of clovers. I don't know.
I
Thanksgiving
mean, hey,
land.
look, you got Durndelin and beer. I'm there. Like,
Maybe the Thanksgiving one is the worst one.
see,
You
I
got
love
turkeys
mashed
and
potatoes and
pilgrims.
gravy. Like,
There's like oceans of cranberry sauce.
oh my, but the food there would be so good. Maybe it'd get boring after a week, but like, I'm telling
Yeah,
you, mashed potatoes and gravy really do it for me. So
that's true. Well, that's the perfect definition of a place that you'd want to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there. And
that's true.
I still don't understand how that world works, like in relation to the real world, because it always felt like when you go to Christmas Town, the real world is like in there, but I don't think it is. But I don't know how they're accessing the real world. I've always been confused on that point.
Isn't it like where there's like the circle where there's the doors, and then
Yeah,
like if you walk away from the doors, that's the real world? I don't know. I've seen
I
this
don't
movie
think so.
before.
It seemed like the only way you can like you accessed other worlds through that, but they're all the holidays. And then I don't know where you
Okay.
go to get to the city that Santa Claus is dropping presents at.
But in
Hmm.
order for Santa to exist to give presents, you have to have some form of real world, I guess.
Yeah. No, you do, and we see
It's
it,
like it has to be
but like,
part of the
where is it?
Christmas world. Just down the block.
Oh, okay. Austin,
They're also not too jolly. They shoot Jack Skellington out of the sky.
yeah, exactly. Austin, what is your 60?
Connor.
Oh, I was just gonna skip him this time. No, I'm kidding. Connor, what is your 64, sir?
My number 64 is a very old movie, but it's one I discovered last year, and I've watched it a few times now. It is an endearing classic. It kind of create it's sort of cited as creating like an entire formula and genre unto itself. That's not really true. But it is Frank Capra's It Happened One Night, which I have in a couple of formats. I have the Criterion Collection Blu-ray, and then I have the 4K that was in that big set that I had in like American Madness was a part of.
Oh,
Um,
Connor, that's also on the rewind eligible list.
Darn it! I should have known Clark Gable was a superhero.
Well, you had that in your back pocket, like whatever he says.
Oh, 100%. The second you said it, I was like, whatever he says next.
That's so good.
Have either of you guys seen this? Because
I have not.
No,
yeah,
I need to.
it's one of those things that like I think for like a couple generations everyone saw it, and then it was on TV all the time, and then at a certain point like it did just kind of become an old movie, and so like I didn't see it until like last year. But it is the seventh film to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards, and the first film to sweep the Big Five. So like all the above the line that it could be eligible. So screenplay, I guess in this case, adapted screenplay, and then picture, director, actor, and actress. And you know what? Cool. Good, because this movie rules. It is sort of the blueprint. And so like, I don't know, it's sort of like when I'm trying to think, like, we do this occasionally with some movies, but like this sort of gets cited as becoming the template for the romantic comedy that every other romantic comedy is ripping off or is taking from or is doing whatever. And it's something I think the shorthand is people think of it as the original rom-com. No. We have been doing romantic comedies. This isn't even Frank Capra's first romantic comedy. Like let's not blow things out of proportion. But I think like in terms of like a cultural memory, I get it. Like it did make a huge impression. This is specifically the thing that people are going back to specifically, even if elements of it pre-existed. Um, but this is written by Robert Riskin and directed by Frank Capra, and that is one of the most important partnerships from screenwriter and director in history. I think they made some of the most American films ever made. They were making movies for Columbia Pictures when they were a Poverty Row studio during the Great Depression. This was made during the Great Depression, and you can tell. And like it's a really cool kind of like stratification of just like what the American zeitgeist was like. Frank Capra, very staunch conservative. Robert Riskin, very staunch liberal. And the way in which their ethos is kind of mixed really complement one another very well. And I really enjoy the magic they made together. It is funny, it is very charming, and it moves quickly. It has a bunch of little episodes that are memorable with a bunch of great one scene characters. Um, and Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert were notorious movie star divas. What are they doing at Columbia, which was a poverty row, like couldn't afford one of them? Well, apparently, like the studios they worked for were tired of their crap and said, "We're punishing you by you need to go to Columbia and make a movie with them." And Frank Capra said, "Yes, please." And the rest is history. It's basically a perfect movie. There was hold on, sorry, Daniver says Lady for a Day before this. So yeah, not his first rom-com. Yes, also Ladies of Leisure and a few other anyways. But sorry, I got sidetracked. Love this movie. Oh, sorry. It has one to me big problem, and that is literally the like last seconds of the movie. You don't see them kiss. Like, are you kidding me? Give me that. Like, you give me that. It's like their contract was over and they went, all right, we're out, and then they didn't have enough time to shoot like the scene. And I know there's probably a bunch of essays out there talking about how it's actually better. No. I reject your hypothesis. Don't over intellectualize this. It's a romantic comedy. I want to see them kiss. Anyways, but it does have one of the single. It looks amazing, but like this has one of my favorite edits in a movie where the movie does such a great job at not favoring one character over the other. Whenever we're with them, we're sort of seeing how both of them are kind of getting through an experience, and like they're sparring, and when they're apart from one another, we're checking in on both of them. But there's a point where Clark Gable is finally opening up, and they have like this big bed sheet between them in beds because they are staying at like in a lot of like motels, and they have two beds, and they'll put up like a blanket. And he's finally just opening up to her about like kind of his like fantasy for what he would do if he ever met a woman that he really loved, and how that scene ultimately culminates in just an edit by kind of cheating the editing practice that they had been employing up till that point. I close my eyes and it's the first thing I think of when I think of this movie, which is Claudette Colbert just like kind of peeking around the blanket. It's just beautiful. And I get it. It's a romantic comedy. These characters are designed to be relatable and the most idealized version of the kind of archetypes they are. But I have scarcely related to a leading man than I have Clark Gable's character in this movie, who is um, Peter Warren is his name. Great character. He's just like me for real, literally me. Um, I too am a super poor reporter for a rag who runs into wealthy socialite women who are trying to run away from their father to get back up to Maine to get married to whoever. It happens to me all the time. But anyways, it happened one night. Excellent film. One of those movies that I think everyone should watch. And if you are looking to get into classic movies, it's not the first one I would start you with, but it would be in the top five. I think if you're looking to get into golden age Hollywood, this is one of the best. That's my number 64.
I bet I have one later tonight, Connor, that could also be on your list for those. I'll tease that.
Very good.
Austin, what is your? I need to see that. That's a movie I've never seen. I've not seen a lot of rom coms from that era.
Yeah, they are actually considering that time. They're relatively popular. Like people really like Bringing Up Baby. I don't, but most people love that movie. And like, yeah, there was like actually I think a lot of contemporary audiences are surprised by how much they enjoy rom coms from that era.
Yeah, I
Uh,
should check that out.
Austin, what is your 64,
Anyways,
sir?
My 64 is not the first film of a genre, but it is a film of a genre. I actually didn't realize until looking at it now. I this completely slipped my mind. So this isn't as close as the Sam Neill thing that I had, uh, recently, where like he had died and like a couple days later I had one of his movies, but it's kind of close with Chuck Russell. My next one is The Blob,
Oh wow.
uh, the '80s remake of The Blob. I love this movie. So this is Chuck Russell and Frank Darabont, who are always a dynamite pairing, and I think it does a really great job of looking at the things that you would see in like a '50s sci-fi horror movie and subverting them. So, like, of course, one of the big ones is the kind of jock guy that would have been the lead in the original is one of the first people that dies, and then we follow like a greaser character as the main character, and I think all of that's really great. And just like all of these other '80s remakes of '50s sci-fi movies, this is some of the greatest effects work of all time. The thing it doesn't have, like the thing, That was an awful sentence, but like The Thing and The Fly is some of the effects are a little wonky in the third act, but the rest of it looks so amazing and just leaves me in awe. Like some of the kills in this are crazy. There's a part in the sewer. The first time I watched it, my jaw dropped where I was like, I can't believe they went there. That's crazy. Or that first one, which is kind of the big famous shot that people go to, where he's like reaching out inside the blob, and it looks really cool. And you have the telephone booth scene is really great too, and just it does such a good job of making the blob literally just gunk scary. Like this should be the hardest monster to make cool or like cinematically interesting or scary, like I said, but this movie nails that perfectly. And I also really like all the characters in it. They're all pretty great. You do have like the kind of classic final girl type character that like goes full like Linda Hamilton, where like you see that transition from T1 to T2 with her, like from the beginning to the end of the movie, uh, which is what we tend to do with that kind of a character, but like it really works. And yeah, it's a great movie. And thank God Rob Zombie did not remake it like he was supposed to.
Oh God.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah, I think it was after Halloween. He was supposed to remake The Blob.
Oh.
Now, if
That
only that
movie
Monsters thing had fallen apart.
Yep.
Austin Einstein Jet in the comments says, "Did you just call me Blob?"
No, but I did call this The Blob.
That remake is really good. I think the casting is especially strong in that. Um, and wonderful location that they found to just like that town that they shot it in.
Yeah.
Apparently they really did some location scouting to find it.
We have the like small town aspect of it, I think really feels like a Stephen King novel. Like it really
Yeah.
captures that small town Americana vibe.
It's interesting how much
And
of a
I
stint there is of those in the 80s of like really good monster movie or body horror kind of remakes of like 50s and 60s films.
Yeah,
there's
and
something in the water.
one of my favorite
Yeah.
genres. They're all pretty fantastic.
And
I mean,
stuff
last time I
that,
had Little Shop of Horrors, which also counts for that.
yeah, and I think a lot of people don't even realize that that was a remake. I think The Blob, most people probably know that if they've heard of that, that that was a remake. I think a lot of people to this day don't know that The Thing is a remake of another movie. And I think there's actually two adaptations of that before you get to Carpenter's movie, if memory serves, because
I'm actually not sure.
you have a movie before it called The Thing, but I think there's even an adaptation of the original short story that is not called The Thing that goes back even further. Uh, it's been a long time since I've looked into this, but I did a college project on this years ago, and that's what's in my brain right now. But yeah, and then like The Fly, I think some people don't realize that that's a remake. Wasn't there an '80s Body Snatchers even?
Yes, which
70s.
Oh, '70s.
yeah,
Okay.
78, like Robert just said in the chat. Yeah, 78.
Oh,
That almost
I
made
didn't
my
realize
list, but
Robert
I'd
was
only
also
seen it
talking about that.
once, so I was like, I really, really liked this, but I kind of need another viewing.
Yeah, Nicholas Boto, the short story is Who Goes There, and I could not remember if there was a movie that was called that, but I thought there was
Yeah, and I finally read
for The
that
Thing.
a couple months ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah, why? Sorry, to get technical, I read like a couple years ago they released. It was like they found like a earlier version of Who Goes There that was like quite a bit longer. I think it was at least 3 chapters longer, and they released that. And I read that like extended version.
Yeah, that's what I've read too.
My thing with the Blob that I was pretty impressed by when I watched it was how like the movie is pretty, and this is going to sound dismissive or like backhanded, and I don't mean for it to. You could call it derivative because a lot of elements of it are kind of taken from a lot of stuff that's popular right then. Like it's like, you've been saying a remake of a 50s movie, with like kind of like an R-rated body horror element. It's got a little Stephen King quality to it. To me, like you were talking about the Linda Hamilton from T1 to T2, especially the ending, I see like an Aliens kind of quality to it. Not
Oh
so
yeah.
much just in her being an action hero, but like the way in which we're fighting the Blob kind of has like a James Cameron element to it. And yet, like, I wouldn't call it like derivative as a pejorative. Like I like the way it's kind of mixing everything that's sort of in the culture at that time. Because Chuck Russell's a very good director and Frank Darabont is a very good screenwriter. And like the skill of the way they put it together is just so entertaining. And so it ends up feeling like a really nice snapshot of what was popular in the 80s and like the best version of that at that time. It's really cool.
Yeah, I agree, and it's the most like summer blockbuster of those 80s remakes of 50s
Mhm.
sci-fi horror. And yeah, I love it.
Well, my 64 is one of the very few sequels that I have on this list where the first film is not going to appear. This is a movie that I brought up when I talked about another film related to this. So this is a film in a franchise that I've already talked about, but not a sequel to that film because it's in a reboot continuity. I went with 2014's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, directed by Matt Reeves, which is, in my mind, still the best of this franchise. And Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, weird roundabout way is how I got into the Planet of the Apes franchise, because it looked so good from the trailers. I decided, okay, fine, I've got to go see that. But I'd never seen any Planet of the Apes stuff before, and I think I talked about this when I talked about the original Planet of the Apes. Um, or when somebody brought that up. Have I gotten to that on my list yet? I don't feel like I would have put this above it. No, I haven't gotten to that yet. Somebody brought it up.
No, I did.
You
I got
you
the
brought it
original
up. That's
movie.
what it was. So when we I have it on the list, of course. When we get there, I'll just be like Planet of the Apes, and we already talked about it. I but I like I said, I'd never seen any of them, because I just couldn't get excited about, talking primates, and didn't really know what the whole thing was about. And so the day I decided I was going to go see this, maybe the day before, I think it was the same day, I watched the original film, and then I watched Rise, and then that night or the day after, I went and saw this, and so I had this weird kind of binge experience with Planet of the Apes, and I didn't watch Beneath until later, and only recently I have looked at the third film in the original franchise, which is Escape. So I still haven't even seen all of those, uh, but a lot of my love for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, besides just how friggin' gorgeous this movie is, some of the best CG creatures in anything, where you just believe them the whole way through, and it's shocking that you're looking at special effects creatures. It blows my mind. The step up that you got from the first film, which is impressive, to this is like monumental. But a lot of my love for this comes down to the story trope that I'm always a sucker for if it's done really well, which is the best friends turned bitter enemies, and you've got one of the best examples of the like Xavier Magneto thing with Caesar and Koba in this. The way that whole thing breaks down is really tragic and chilling when Koba finally turns real hard on Caesar toward the end, and it's a really visceral film in its action. You find yourself appreciating both sides of a conflict where sometimes you're sympathizing with the apes, sometimes you're sympathizing with the humans. It is a really good Gary Oldman performance, and it's I've seen it a few times. It's been a little while, but I have found it pretty rewatchable. And one of those movies, like it's not exactly a Terminator 2 in that when you watch this franchise, you kind of want to watch, through the franchise, but like kind of watchable by itself. Um, I think like it's just a really thrilling action movie and in a really good thriller. But yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
That opening
Yeah.
shot where it jumps in on like Caesar's eyes and we're pulling out, that was like mind blowing that special effects are that good
Just how
when you
good
saw
that looked.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
and it looks
No,
just
and
as
I've
good 12
gotten
years later.
yeah. No, I've gotten to a point where I struggle on War and Dawn, where like I kind of like those about equally. Uh, but I really like both of those movies.
Um, Koba is a great villain.
Yeah.
And probably like I don't know, I haven't seen the other like older Planet of the Apes movies, but is he the best villain in a Planet of the Apes movie?
Dr. Zaius, but then Koba.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I agree with that. They're doing very different
How
things.
much of that is because of The Simpsons? I can't answer that, but
Well,
Uh,
and also you're comparing apples to oranges a little bit because you got like your
yeah,
intellectual villain versus your like tragically abused and kind of has a Magneto point sort of villain. Like Koba really just is Magneto.
yeah, no, that is true. And the
did you
best thing to
guys?
come out of oh, sorry, go ahead,
No, 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 no,
Connor.
no. I think you're gonna go in the same direction
Oh,
I
I
am.
was about to say, are we about to go in the same direction? The best thing to happen during the release of the last one is when people started posting just screenshots of movies, but with Koba like edited into them.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, that was great. I forgot about that.
It's wonderful.
And
I
I will
watched
forever. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I watched that MMA movie Warrior with Joel Edgerton and Tom Hardy, and there's a character in that movie named Koba, and like so it cuts to like Sports Center, and they're like, "No one messes with Koba." And I was like, "Can somebody please there has to be an edit of like Koba in Warrior, like in the fight the MMA ring, like please."
That's awesome. Yeah, the other thing I was gonna mention about that is just I will forever complain that the titles of Rise and Dawn are flipped. Like you have to dawn
Yeah.
before you rise. It doesn't make any sense. This film should be called Rise of the Planet of the Apes. But
Yeah, pretty
whatever.
much.
It's always darker before the dawn, I guess. I don't know. Okay, let's go back to Connor now and hit his number 63.
Number 63 is my favorite of the Studio Ghibli films. I did Ocean Waves in the last
Oh, well,
stream.
now I'm curious to see. I'm sorry. I almost want to guess. Almost
No,
want
go
to
ahead.
guess.
Yes.
Is it Kiki's Delivery Service?
It's Princess Mononoke.
That's what my
Um,
guess was gonna be.
Man, I've not seen that one.
I'd like to be like kind of like the you didn't see this one coming kind of guy and say Ocean Waves is my favorite. You'll be real hipster. I live in Portland after all, but like come on. Like guys, it's Princess Mononoke. Like this movie rocks and it's such a patient film and it's like that pacing to it gives it a properly epic feel because if you were to kind of boil it down, just the basics of what you're looking at isn't super huge scale relative to like other movies that are kind of going for this type of like thing, but like it's a fable, it's a hero's journey. It's about like man's relationship to the earth. And you have like all of these different so basically the way it works is there is a young prince named Ashitaka. I think he's a prince. He has to be, or at least okay, a young warrior, whatever, named Ashitaka. He lives in a village that's kind of like off the grid, and then in the forest there are these animals that are being like infected by some kind of weird thing, and it infects him as he's trying to defend his village. And because this infection can spread, he is cast out and he becomes an outcast. And so he then wanders through the woods, then starts connecting with other villages and civilizations in this world. And he's very kind of he's stoic, but he's affable, and he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's very diplomatic. And so he meets some monks, he meets uh, some other people, and there is this place called Irontown, which is sort of run by a former madam who left a brothel and is now like employs the brothel workers and like mine workers, and she mines iron out of the forest. The problem is the forest is kind of sick of her industrialization, and the movie does a really so it's Miyazaki, so environmentalism is a big theme in his work, and this is such a thoughtful, layered, nuanced, kind of broad, big picture observation on mankind and the way we kind of settle into civilizations, the way civilizations need to expand, and how we sort of reckon that with the natural world, natural disasters, man-made disasters. Nature ain't exactly an angel. And so, in fact, a lot of the things coming out of the natural world are called demons. I don't know if that's like a translation thing. The way Japan uses the word demons seems to be different than the way the Western world kind of uses that in terms of like you know Judean Christian culture. But yeah, Princess Mononoke is actually, relatively speaking, a minor character. I know there's like a big essay about how she's actually like the heart and soul, because she is. I know, but whatever. But like,
You're really on about video essayists tonight.
whoa, hey, I'm not. It's not just the video essayists. It's the it's the people who write them too. All right, so
I agree. I agree.
yeah. Yeah, but obviously the animation is mind blowing, and this has, I think, and I should say the scale of this reaches a point of like almost apocalyptic heights. Like it feels like the world is ending when you are watching this movie. And the way that and again, it's that patient pacing. It's that understanding of epic storytelling, of how they introduce you to a world, build that world, develop that world, and bring it to like a boiling point, all within this admittedly long, like 2.5 hour long runtime. But it is such a feast, and it has one of the my absolute favorite closing shots in any movie, where I was so locked into this movie the first time, where I'm looking at it and I'm like, this should happen, and then it should fade to black, and then that happened, and I'm like, this movie and we get each other. So um this is one of those like classics that everyone likes this movie. um and they should, because it's great. So my number 63 is Princess Mononoke.
We'll appreciate this, Connor. So I didn't know anything about Princess Mononoke. The only thing I knew about it is that it is an important part of the second chapter of one of the greatest trilogies of all time. That's right, Suburban Nights, where Princess Mononoke is a character, of course, in that. And that was
Played
literally
by Mars
all I
Girl.
knew. Played by Mars Girl, and that was literally all I knew about it. And then last year, my sister and one of my brothers were like, "Hey, we're gonna go see this. Does anyone else want to come?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not doing anything. Suburban Nights is a masterpiece. I'll go see the origin of this character." And I went to see it in the theater for the first time, and my jaw was on the floor the entire film. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Yeah,
So
and
good.
it's one of those movies where like while watching it, I was like, okay, this is a pretty long movie, but I'm glad it is. Like I want to be in this world. It's so cool.
I love the design work. I love Ashitaka's sword. Like it's such a cool design for a sword. um
Yeah.
yeah. And I will say, I will defend the English dub because a lot of people who haven't actually watched it, but they've seen clips, like to tell you that Billy Crudup's vocal performance is bad. It's not. It's very good because Billy Crudup's a good actor. And really, the English dub is very good. So I guess that's my hot take for the night. So
Well, my siblings were annoyed because they wanted to see it dubbed, and we were supposed to go at a different time, and then one of them had to cancel, so we had to move to a different time, and then he didn't show up anyways, and it was subbed at that time, so they were very annoyed about that. But I was like, "Oh, I'm kind of glad to see it subbed, but at some point I should check out the dub."
I kind of at some point
But
want to
yeah,
just watch down the Ghibli films. I've seen 4 or 5, and I've liked all the ones I've watched.
yeah, there. I mean, I have you seen Ponyo?
Mm-mm.
That one's a little divisive. It's very cutesy. I like Ponyo. Like Kiki's Delivery Service is really good.
It's
Like
really good.
they got some good stuff.
I saw Spirited Away in the theater, which might have been the first anime film I ever saw. I had a friend
Wow.
that dragged me to that, and I was like, "Oh, this is really good."
I've only seen half of Spirited Away. They made us watch it in class, and it ended like right after they all get turned into pigs. And I was like, "You can't end it there! Like, what happens?"
What happened? That's the
Yeah,
problem with
I'm like,
watching stuff in grade
I'm
school.
like
It's like
8 years old. I'm like, I need to see what happens.
we're gonna
Like,
watch a
that's a
movie, but we only have
horrifying
45
place to
minutes.
leave this.
And then a lot of the time they would just never show you the rest of it. It's like, well, why did you waste my time like previewing the first third of this movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Dubby put in a $2 super chat and said Occam's razor, whatever can happen will happen. I guess in reference to Connor calling the ending of that, maybe.
uh, that's not Occam's razor. Get real.
I wasn't gonna correct him.
You're just happy that this movie actually ended with the kiss, as opposed to cutting to black before it.
Yeah.
Nicholas Bodo, I saw Castle in the Sky as a kid and remember the villain being voiced by Mark Hamill. There are 2 Ghibli movies with the word castle in them. I don't think Disney
Mhm.
has anything like that where it's like they accidentally have titles with the same words.
They have there's Little Mermaid. Is there another little Disney movie?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that is
Didn't do like a
immediately
Little
coming to me.
Prince or
Anyway.
something.
Uh
Brave little toaster.
I guess that's technically it. It was distributed by Disney. They didn't make it, but
Yeah,
that's
that's why they
true.
picked it up.
Austin, what is your well that predates Little Mermaid.
Well, I knew it was coming.
It was coming. What is your 63, sir?
Uh, so my 63 is also a very thoughtful film, but it's actually this is one of those picks where I'm putting it more for a trilogy, but I can give you a favorite of the 3 if you want. But really, it's just all 3. I like them equally. It is, of course, the Austin Powers trilogy, uh, which is very thoughtful. I know. If I were to pick a favorite.
I might have considered the first one. That wasn't even on my radar when I made my list.
Yeah, that's fair. If I had to pick a favorite, it's probably Spy Who Shagged Me, but like I said, I like all 3 about equally. And Mike Myers is one of those guys where even when it's not working, I kind of like it as much as when it is. So I really like Goldmember. I'm like the only person that has seen the Pentaveret, and I've watched it twice. uh, no, I really like the Austin Powers trilogy. It's one of those things where I watched it a lot growing up and then had a couple years with complete distance from it and then came back to it later and still really liked it as much as I did as a kid, except now I'd found Bond, so I also appreciated some of the comedy around that. But if I'm being honest, like 60% of my sense of humor comes from Mini Me, let's be honest. Uh, that is very much a part of my DNA and left a huge mark that is very noticeable on me. Yeah, and like I said, I really just like all 3. I like that they're kind of all the same movie, but they all have different things going on. Like the second one goes to space, and then the third we go to Japan and add Goldmember's the greatest character of all time. Uh, it, yeah,
And Michael Caine.
Michael Caine is honestly the best part of Goldmember and one of the best things in that entire trilogy. He's really funny in that.
I saw that
And just
in the
him and
theater
Mini-Me
and
is great.
remember just absolutely hating it, and I've never gone back to it. So like I don't know if I would like it more now, but like I thought it was like one of those dreadful like third movies that is a gigantic step down from the second one.
Well, a lot of people really hate Goldmember, but I don't know. Goldmember might be the one I quote the most. Like, there's a lot of really quotable moments. Uh, Even just like the Ozzy Osbourne cameo, I quote a lot where he's like, "It's the same buddy joke as the last Austin Powers movie." It's so good.
He's not heavy. He's my brother, baby. Yeah.
And then for some reason they ripped off the twist of Goldmember for Spectre, and I don't
Yeah,
know
everybody
why.
in the comments are talking about that.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I don't know,
And I
especially
did not
because
put that together when I saw Spectre. The only thing those movies have in common for me is that I saw them one time in the theater and hated them. That's
well, it's weird because Daniel Craig constantly was like, "Oh yeah, Austin Powers it like ruined being able to do that kind of Bond again, so we had to change it." And I'm like, okay, but why did you steal the ending from the third Austin Powers? Did you watch that and just think that's what it was? Like,
that was
it's
the one,
parodying it. It must be.
or that was the one they skipped, and then they accidentally just did the same thing.
I don't know. It's bizarre.
Yeah, but everything
I
about Spectre
love
is bizarre.
That is true.
I love the opening of Goldmember where they're doing the Kevin Spacey as Dr. Evil and Danny DeVito as Mini-Me and Tom
It's
Cruise is
wonderful. They did that trailer for was it The Digger, that new Tom Cruise film where it's like 3 minutes of just montaging his career. And when it showed him as Austin Powers, I was like, oh my god, that's great. I did not expect that to be in this montage. But yeah, that opening's great. Gwyneth Paltrow as Dixie Normus is one of the best Bond girl pun names. Steven Spielberg's fun in his cameo in that opening. It's great.
Oh, I forgot about them.
the thing about Austin Powers is like
Because I haven't seen it in
it doesn't
25 years.
you will be possessed by the spirit of Austin Powers, and you will just have a compulsion for the next week to just shout his catchphrases because you can only shout them, right? Like
Yeah, of course.
Gagadelic, yeah, baby. Like you can't stop, and you're going to be lame and not as good as Mike Myers doing it, but you're going to do it anyways.
Yeah, no, exactly. What was I gonna say too to that? I lost it. It's all good. But I agree. It is that just as a trilogy, I think, is one of the most quotable things for me. Like whether it's Austin Powers himself or Doctor Evil's got a lot of great moments, and him just being a Lorne Michaels impression is also funnier to me as an adult. It's like I love that he just made his boss the bad guy. The stuff around that with Dana Carvey is a little awkward, but
Yeah.
that's whatever. What can you do?
I imagine there's a number of things that probably were over your head as a kid that you get now with those.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of that. Oh, speaking of when I was a kid, one of my most traumatic memories is watching The Spy Who Shagged Me, and they play American Woman, and I was like, oh, I love the song. Mom, put this on my MP3. I love this song. It's wonderful. And then she's like, okay, I put it on your MP3. Go listen to it. And I put it on, and it's the stupid Lenny Kravitz version. And I'll never forgive her for that. I was like, this isn't the right song. What the hell is this?
Yeah, he does not have a great cover of that song. Although it was
Uh,
all over the radio when that was released, so I got very used to listening to it. But I mean, I
it's
agree with you. It's not great.
cover is for that movie, right?
I think so, yeah.
Hmm. The
But
thing I
it,
know about
but
Lenny
it charted,
Kravitz,
man. It was everywhere.
the thing about Lenny Kravitz cover, because like Heather Graham's in the video for that, right? Like,
I
so,
didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but no, my childhood best friend who lived across the street, before I even knew it was a cover, it was like not even 10. He's just shouting, "A naked woman, stay away from me." That's the only thing I can think of when I hear the Lenny Kravitz cover.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyways,
No, Lenny Kravitz is in that new Bond game, and I was like, I'm coming for you, Lenny Kravitz. I'm getting my revenge. Miguel, what is your 63?
My 63 is a movie that I think Austin actually had on a superhero list because we had slightly different criteria when we made that, and so this in a weird way ends up being like a movie situation for between Connor and I. So you probably won't hear Austin bring this one up, but I'm sure it would be even higher on his. I imagine. I don't know. We'll find out, or he'll tell me. But I would imagine it would be higher on his everything movie list if he had included it. And it's a movie that if it wasn't for the channel, I don't know when I would have ever finally bothered with, but was requested years ago, and I've done even a written sci-fi rewind review on this movie at this point. My 63 is 1986's Transformers the movie, which I have in a glorious steelbook. It's wonderful, and Freddie actually bought this with Christmas money a few years ago. I think maybe the last year that Best Buy still had Blu-rays and steelbooks. We were out shopping with his birthday money, and he and Mikey have watched this just over and over again. Mikey is the Transformers kid between the two, but Freddie likes this movie a lot. It's funny because I brought this up the other day. I can't remember why, and I was like, "Oh, Freddie, do you remember when you bought the Steelbook?" And he was like, "Wait, that's mine. I bought that." Yes, Freddie. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. But anyway, I I felt the need to put this on the list as much for just the glorious animation than anything. Like I still to this day don't always completely know what's even happening in this because there are so many characters and it's just a lot of war. Like oh my god, you got all these Transformers that I had before I saw this never heard of that are just getting blown up right and left, and people have feelings about it, and I don't know what feelings to have because I didn't watch that show growing up. Transformers was a little before my time, and I never found it really syndicated or anything, so it was just off my radar. Like I probably would have watched it and liked it, but it was never playing when I was a kid. It was like He-Man was like that too. It was just never playing. Like Ninja Turtles had really kind of overtaken all of that. And then once you get into the early '90s, it's a lot of Batman, it's a lot of X-Men, and so I just never saw it. But I had friends in high school that talked about this movie all the time and how nuts it was that they killed off Optimus Prime and like a lot of the big uh, events in it, or like the big important things I knew about already going in. Um, but I guess the best way to put it is I knew the major beats, but I didn't know how exactly epic it was because you just have to experience that. And I didn't know how freaking cool Unicron would be because Unicron scratches this big itch for me. I don't know what this is, but I love like planet-sized villains. Like, that's a thing with me. I'm a giant Galactus fan. One of my favorite things in Ninja Turtles was always the Technodrome, which is not a character, but like Death Star-esque. And I'm not a giant Star Wars fan. I guess the Death Star is cool, but it's like I like a lot of other things that are like the Death Star. I guess even more than the Death Star. And
Unicron's basically just Galactus.
yeah, and so I love Unicron. And of course it's Orson Welles, which is one of the most insane things that ever happened. Is that Orson Welles in his, I think, maybe absolute last performance, or like really close, is voicing Unicron.
Yeah, it is.
And then you've got Leonard Nimoy as Galvatron, and I think it's really funny that Megatron gets reformed by Unicron and then has a different voice now. I don't even know why he has to have a different voice. Like, it's sort of the same character, and it's like now he's Leonard Nimoy and like Unicron, and I'm like, you could have just paid the same actor. I don't really know why you went out of your way to do that. You could have given Leonard Nimoy just some other new character. But no, so like it's cool how all out that movie went. Like, think about all the money they're spending on weird stuff. Like, you didn't even have to pay Leonard Nimoy, but there he is. You paid Orson Welles, and you paid for the soundtrack, which is like the main thing that you hear about all the time with this. Is just how both great and odd some of the selections are with the with the soundtrack with this. I have listened to the soundtrack cover to cover. I don't mind admitting it's a lot of fun. The Transformers like a theme cover is one of the best of those, where like you take a classic TV theme and you jazz it up in full production in I don't want to say another genre, but like just more rock hard than that originally was. And like, yeah, it's dated, but
like
it's great
genre because it's so much fuller.
Yeah, because it's so much fuller. The first time I saw this, and I got to the Dare to Be Stupid part with the what are they called, Austin?
The Junkians.
Thank you,
Wreck-Gar.
Yeah, with Wreck-Gar, the Junkians. I thought my phone was playing Weird Al music. Because I'm a big Weird Al fan, and I play Weird Al quite a bit. And I was like, why is Dare to Be Stupid randomly playing while I'm watching this movie? And I seriously like grabbed a device or two trying to figure out where the Weird Al was coming from. And then it turned out it was in the movie, and nothing has blown my mind more than that. Especially because I don't know how I hadn't heard about that at that point. Like being as into Weird Al as I am. I didn't even know about the Wreck-Gar voiceover thing that he did for Transformers Animated, like, because I just didn't know a lot about Transformers. I've now seen that episode, but I didn't know that.
He says, "I'm Wreck-Gar. I dare to be stupid.
I dare to be stupid." Yeah, no, no, it's great. And I also love the Quintessons, just the look and the perverse side. I like guilty innocent thing when they're putting people on trial. It's wonderful. So yeah, I will admit that I'll just spoil this now. That Transformers 1 did not make my list because I just could not bring myself to put two Transformers movies on a full 100 with as many other things as I wanted to include. And it kind of hurts my feelings because, like, I really, really loved that movie. And if I'm being honest, I probably like the story in Transformers 1, like, slightly more than Transformers the movie. But, like, this is a classic. It's some of the greatest animation of all time. There's all these other elements that I really like it for. And so I couldn't bring myself to do it, but like it sort of hurts my feelings not to put that there. So I'll say it's like
it's
like 102 or something. But say again.
It's got the Dinobots that notches it up over one.
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
To add on to your Leonard Nimoy thing, what makes it funnier is because, of course, Megatron is played by Frank Welker, and then he becomes Galvatron, where he's Leonard Nimoy. But then in season 3 of the show, he's Frank Welker doing a Leonard Nimoy impression.
That's hilarious. And it's Welker, so it probably sounds pretty decent.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Dubby says Transformers the movie is traumatizing if you have investment in any G1 characters.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
that's the
the
thing is,
one thing
it
I
was
know
just
about
my
that movie.
introduction to this universe, and I was so lost. I had no idea what I was looking at.
When it works in two ways, because A, it's like crazy and shocking and awesome that they did that. And then it also led to the hilarity of the G.I. Joe movie, then having to back off on that, having seen the reaction to the Transformers movie.
Which is,
But it
in
was
some
already
ways,
animated.
a lot more Bat stuff
Oh
than
yeah, that movie's
Transformers is.
insane.
I
Because
finally
Transformers, the movie, when you boil
saw
it
it this
down,
year.
is just Star Wars, like
Yeah,
kind of.
I was gonna say that.
So it's
Yeah,
like it has that template where you go, okay, like I can follow this a little easier. While GI Joe is like, oh, this terrorist group. They come from Snake Wakanda,
yep.
and all the Snake people like actually made this terrorist group, and you're like, what?
GI Joe is more of a kitchen sink movie. It's just every random crazy thing they could think of gets thrown into that movie. I finally saw that earlier this
Yeah.
year, and it's amazing. It's wonderful, and I the, one of the things that really surprised me about that is also how impressive the animation is. And like, I'm not gonna say it's on par with this, but like that opening with the Statue of Liberty, which just almost feels like
Oh,
a
it's so
vignette
cool.
film. It's so cool.
Yeah,
But
no,
Kat,
Yeah.
would you consider the GI Joe movie? Would you consider that a superhero movie?
As much as this is, like, Austin makes a compelling argument that Transformers and G.I. Joe should both count because they both kind of start like with Marvel and as like stories being told I somewhat within even Marvel canon. Like it's so dicey. Like they're so
Yeah,
almost
because
superhero things.
that's why I bring it up because I remember listening to you guys talk about the top 100, like one of the first or second streams, and I'm like in a Red Robin, and I'm like trying not to laugh out my burger because he's like, I'm going with GI Joe the movie, and you're like, no, why? And he has to like make the case.
I mean, the more I've thought
I'm like,
about it,
yes,
it's a compelling
more
argument.
bottomless prize, please. I'm listening to something.
The only thing was I wished that we had talked about it ahead of time, even though he would have kind of spoiled some of his list, just because I could see the argument now for those going on the list that we use for Rewind, and I just wanted us to both stick to that list. So like I could have been compelled to add them to the list, but I didn't like that he strayed from the list. That was kind of my thing.
Okay.
The funniest part though is that afterwards you put up that poll and it was like, are they superhero? Are they not? And it was nearly 50-50.
We cannot decide. If you guys are cool with that, I want to take just a really quick break and then come
Of
back and
course.
finish the last two that we'll have for this evening. So everybody, bear with us for just a minute. I just need to run and take care of something real quick, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. Thanks for sticking with us, folks, and bearing with us. The last thing I wanted to mention real quick about Transformers is just that this is actually getting re-released in the theater again this year because I think it's the 40th anniversary of this movie, and
Yep.
they're adding a surprise after credit scene that's supposed to tease something that they're making that is going to tie into this, and that's kind of a weird, unprecedented thing. And so I'm gonna try to take Mikey to that. I think is that next month, Austin? That's coming up on us, I
Yeah,
think.
it's September. Yeah, I'm so excited to see it because 2 years ago they were like Transformers 40th anniversary in theaters, and I was like, "Oh man, I get to see the movie on the big screen. This is amazing!" And I walk in, and it's the first 4 episodes of the show, and I'm like, "Damn it! Well, in 2 years it'll be the 40th anniversary of the movie, and then I'll get to see it on the big screen."
And I actually have seen it on the big screen already.
So I'm excited. The
So
best though
deal
was
with it.
when I was leaving. There was a guy that was like, "Man, I really thought it was the movie." And to get prepared, I watched the first couple episodes at home, and then went to go see it.
That's such a weird
Is
thing to see on the big screen too, because there's all the animation
Yeah,
mistakes and it's not real polished. And
that was really great with a crowd, though. One of the biggest laughs of that entire screening was there's a part where they land on Earth, and like all the Decepticons walk out, and Megatron points to just a rock in like the middle of the desert, and he goes, "That will be the foundation of our base." And like the entire theater erupts into laughter.
that's awesome. I'm surprised people showed up for
Yeah,
that.
It was a pretty packed theater.
How
Every
many
single
of them
person was
thought it was
like,
the
"Okay, is
movie?
this like an introduction?" Oh, like everyone thought it was the movie.
That's awesome. No one understood what they were there for. Well, partly because why would you do that? It's so weird.
No, it was very strange. One, the pilot episode was um like a reading call where they brought like the few living actors back and they had them like redub over it. So then like the first episode was like that, but then the rest were just the episodes. Like that was weird too. It was very strange, but it was cool to see.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to number 62. What do you have for us, Connor?
well, I had one question actually about Transformers the movie.
Have you
Is
seen
the
it?
"You've Got the Touch"? No, I
Oh,
haven't.
wow.
The "You Got the Touch, You Got the Power" is that song from Transformers the movie? Did they make
Yep.
it for that? Have either of you guys seen the movie Boogie Nights?
No.
No.
There is a scene because it takes place from the 70s to the 80s in the adult entertainment industry where Dirk Diggler, played by Mark Wahlberg, is like trying to break out, and there's like a scene where he is singing that song in a recording booth, and it's like really funny. He's like trying to, I guess, do a tie-in song for Transformers the movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
um,
That's
anyways,
hilarious.
Boogie Nights is great. You guys should watch that. It's not on my list. I'm sorry, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna stick with it. 80s. Got a little bit of an 80s theme. My last two movies are L movies, although they aren't L's, they're W's, but like their titles start with L's. Um, so this is an 80s movie, and it ties into a little bit of Temple of Doom, in that like I kind of consider both of these to be. This is another one of those, it's a comic book movie, but it's not actually based on any comic books. But the appeal that I get out of it, I do get out of. It's similar to like what I can get out of like a comic book that I enjoy. And the filmmaker who made this went on to make some very notorious comic book movies, and that is Joel Schumacher's The Lost Boys. Um,
I can confirm that it's a very comic booky movie.
yeah.
That's a great
I'd say
box.
yeah, it's kind of cool cover art. Um, I love this movie like almost to like irrational degree. Like I think it kind of falls into like a sort of music video dreamy quality. And I hear some people say that they find it to be kind of nonsensical and like they can't really get into it. Something about the film's atmosphere really does suck me in. It has an excellent soundtrack, first of all. But I don't know, I think it does a great job at using it's maybe my favorite vampire movie. Like I really like its vision of vampirism. And similar to what I was saying about Princess Mononoke, is I think it's an expertly designed film. I like how the vampires are a sort of conglomeration of counterculture, where in the 1980s, the counterculture was punks. And in the 80s, there was a lot of nostalgia for 1950s, as you know, we were talking about with The Blob and like the remakes of those films, 1950s B horror films. And in this, you do have like the vampires are kind of a punk. They're kind of greasers. They're kind of like potheads and hippies from the 70s. They're kind of all of these different sort of counterculture kind of groups all sort of stitched together. And they sort of use vampirism in this as a sort of metaphor for falling in with the wrong crowd. And Jason Patrick plays the main kid in this, who very much has a whole Jim Morrison thing going on. So much so that there's a giant poster of Jim Morrison in the vampire hangout space. um, but he's like a teenager, and he has a brother who's younger, and the way it kind of handles that brother relationship I thought was is very strong, because Corey Haim plays his younger brother, and I think they're trying to play him even younger than he is. He's like he comes across like an 8-year-old when I think Corey Haim is like a teenager, but the point is he's very little and kind of prepubescent. He's into comic books and vampires and like kind of believing in that kind of stuff. He can't leave the house, sort of thing. He takes bubble baths. And it's interesting how that kind of brotherly bond is sort of like the backbone and tension for the Jason Patrick older brother, where he is sort of seduced and allured by uh, the vampires, led by, of course, Sutherland, Kiefer Sutherland. But there's what's her name, Star. It kind of does have like this sort of coming of age quality to it. Um, and it all leads to some totally killer moments, like the part on this cover where they're hanging off the train tracks. The part where Kiefer Sutherland is like making Jason Patrick think he's eating bugs when they're eating Chinese food. Then the ending climactic sequence is so awesome, features some of the great vampire kills. And how am I forgetting the Frog Brothers? Where you have Jason Patrick is falling in with his vampire crew. Corey Haim, the younger brother, is like, well, I gotta find he finds these other kids roughly his age, and they're the Frog Brothers. They run a comic book shop on the pier, and so they they put holy water in their super soakers, and they're like, we're gonna go hunt some vampires, and they mean it. It's awesome. So, yeah, I think one of the all-time great like closing quotes in a movie, like the last line of this movie makes me laugh every time. Uh, it's really fun, aesthetically, basically a perfect movie. It's just so distinctly directed and designed, and it sticks with me. I love this movie like more and more every time I watch it. I'm just really kind of hooked by it. Anyways,
The Lost Boys is a great movie. That's one I haven't gone back to as much as I've gotten older, but like I was like, man, I want to be a frog brother when I was a kid. Like, they're so cool.
Yeah, I've only seen that
Yeah,
once too.
it's really good.
I should go back to it.
oh really? Okay.
But that's the thing that what you're talking about at the end, with just the unique look and like the kind of perfect visual look, is what it has in common with Flatliners.
Mhm. The way you talk about Flatliners makes me want to watch it because I've never seen Flatliners, unfortunately.
And I think that's the next thing
Um,
he did right after that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
it's also been very inspirational for me as I have a vampire script and like
Yeah,
kind of what it's going for is very influential on me. So
which I've read part of.
yeah.
It's really good. I don't know if you stuck the landing because I never got to read the rest of it, but what I read is really good.
Second draft is ongoing, baby.
When and if you come back to the workshop, you've got to bring that back in. I want to read more of it.
I will. I will.
Austin, what is your next one, sir?
So my next one actually is a sequel coming out this year. Kind of. So this is a movie that came out a couple years ago, and I was so excited for it, and I was like, I'm going completely blind. I'm not going to watch any trailers. So I did, but the friend that I went with went like 2 days before we went, and he was like, I'm going to be honest, it sucks. Like I'll still go with you because I said I would, but like this is not a good movie. And I was like, oh, that sucks. But I mean, I'm so excited. And we went to see it, and we walked out, and I was like, I have no idea what the hell he was talking about. That was great. And I say that to him, and he goes, yeah, honestly, I don't know what I was talking about either. That was really good. uh, my number 62 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which my like one big shame about it is I'm like, I'd kick Jackie Brown out of my top three Tarantino movies, and I think I'm like, that kind of sucks because I love Jackie Brown and it doesn't get enough love. But I really love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. In a lot of ways, like it does just kind of feel like the victory lap on Tarantino's career, and I think because The Hateful Eight to me feels like him going back and doing another Reservoir Dogs, and then in a lot of ways, I feel like this is kind of him doing that with Pulp Fiction, but also just kind of his career in general, and being this love letter to 60s cinema, and his giant middle finger to the Manson family, and everything with that is wonderful. But I also just love uh, all the Hollywood stuff. Like I love all the TV talk that they do. Like the scene with Al Pacino is really great, where he's talking about like you're playing a heavy on TV, soon you're gonna be like the Green Hornet or Batman. Like you need to go to Italy to make movies. Your career's done. All that stuff's great. Um, Brad Pitt and DiCaprio are both really good in it. It has one of my favorite Tarantino lines in any movie, which is when right after that scene with Al Pacino where they walk out and DiCaprio's crying and he's like, "Oh man, like you told me my career's over," and Brad Pitt goes, "Come on, man, don't cry in front of these Mexicans. We gotta get out of here." uh, it's so funny. And then so I've shown this to a couple people, and their response is always, "That movie was awful, and then it was salvaged by the last 20 minutes," which I don't understand. But the third act is amazing, and it's so funny, and I think just such a good teardown of the Manson family, and like, yeah, like screw them, like let's celebrate Sharon Tate instead, and all that's great. And I've also talked to people who are like, it's disrespectful. They should have done what actually happened. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that is more disrespectful personally. But also, if you've seen Inglorious Bastards, you probably should have known that he wasn't going to go directly to what happened in real life. Uh, and yeah, really just, I think kind of, it's not his best movie. I do think he has one above this, but I do think it kind of is one of his best, and kind of like a perfect Tarantino movie. If you want just a Tarantino movie,
It's in my top 3 Tarantino movies. It was actually the hardest cut I had to make from my list because,
yeah.
like The Irishman, I saw that movie like 2 or 3 times, but I've not seen it since it was in theaters.
Oh, okay.
But I think about that movie quite a bit. I quote it a lot. Like it's lived in my memory quite a bit. Um, yeah, it's really, really good. uh, And the young cast that they got for that has like kind of gone on to really um
Yeah.
like, because like Dakota Fanning's in it, but she was already been in things at that point. But like Sydney Sweeney, Austin Butler, Mikey Madison, like it's just like one after the next. You're like, that person's in this movie? Like what? Margaret Qualley is in it. Like
And they're all like disgusting hippies.
yeah. What'd you say your name was? I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business. That was dumber than that.
I can't remember the exact line, but when he tries to repeat that later, it's so funny.
You were on a horsey.
Oh man, in the theater, I'm like, oh my god, like this is what this is building to. Like, oh, like I'm horrified to what's about to happen to our main characters. Oh my god. And then it like completely flips and it's so funny. I also showed that to my uncle and his wife and they both looked at me and I was like gutting myself laughing through that climax and they both looked at me and they were like, "You're really twisted, you know that?" And I was just like, "How can you watch this and not think this is funny?" Like,
It's interesting because I took a girl I was dating to go see that movie, and the ending was funny because like the entire audience was cheering and a hooting and hollering. He had no idea who Sharon Tate was. She didn't know like what the situation is at the end, and she was like so off put and like grossed out by it. And I'm like, okay, but like,
there's context you're missing.
yeah. Um,
Also, one of the first scenes with Sharon Tate is taken directly from Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, and that's wonderful.
yeah.
But yeah, no,
A
I
life-changing
love it.
film for Austin.
It really is.
I meant to see that, not Valley of the Dolls, but Once Upon a Time in the Hollywood. I meant to see that in the theater when it came out. I missed it, and I've never gone back to it. I don't know what it is about Tarantino, but he tends to be off my radar, and I just always forget to go back and look at them.
No, for
Yeah.
sure.
Um, I remember I brought that with me on my first trip to Kansas. I had like 5 movies in my backpack, and like, hey, you want to watch this? And it's like, oh, it's almost 3 hours. Well, probably can't do that. And I was like, yeah, it's really long.
It also led to one of the best Tarantino in real life lines, which is at that screening where the uh, I don't know, like the one person in the press was like, "Ah, you didn't give Sharon Tate enough lines," and he just immediately responds with, "I reject your hypothesis."
I think I quoted that earlier in this stream. Like, it's great. Like, it's one of the funniest lines.
It's because it's so much fun, Jan. Yeah, exactly. Cap, what is your 62?
Okay, I'm gonna do my last two when we get to them pretty quickly. Partly because it's getting late, and partly because I've not seen either of these in a very long time. But they need to be on my list. So I wish I could speak to these a little bit better than I'm going to be able to. But these are both classic movies that I think, like I said, Austin Connor would maybe consider putting on that list of like older classic films people need to see. This one is from. So I'm just getting ahead and saying the one right after this is also sort of in this category. 1952, the first Western I ever liked, because I grew up not really a Western kid, and I didn't see a lot. And to this day, I've not seen a ton of Westerns. Never been really my genre. But I'm much more interested now than I ever have been. I just haven't gone down the rabbit hole. But like I'm ready now. I'm kind of in that in the place to start doing more of that. But this is a film I saw in college in a class, maybe it was a film class, I can't remember. But my number 62 is High Noon from 1952, starring Gary Cooper. And Gary Cooper plays a this is a let me just say this real quick. Really moody film and shockingly character driven, and even at the time not what people were expecting. We're like, yeah, there's some action in it because it ends with a big shootout, but it's a lot more kind of introspective than you would expect for a western in that period, and is a lot more about a uh like moral conundrum than it is anything else. And so that kind of hits me where I live. It ends up being kind of like a premise for a Star Trek episode, but in a Western film. And so it's about a uh, sheriff who has just gotten married and is about to leave town with his new wife. But oh no, his kind of arch nemesis that he threw in prison has gotten out of prison and is a coming for him, and wants to have a duel with him at high noon. And so he's got to decide if he's going to stay in town and take care of this guy, or if he's going to run off with his wife like he was going to. And the whole movie is trying to figure out that conundrum. And his arch nemesis is the notorious outlaw Frank Miller. Which is one of my favorite things about this film, and it's brilliant cinematography. It's a really economical film. It's only like 80 minutes, and it's one of those like get in, get out. Like every detail matters, every scene counts. The big thing that's always stuck with me the most is just the clock motif and the way it deals with time, both as a like thematic motif and uh, the way the film is paced as well. Like there's a clear kind of ticking time bomb. Like we're waiting for this specific like time to happen. He's only got so much time to get out of Dodge if he's going to do that. Anyway, it's wonderful. I need to see it again. It's been too long. And there I'm really remiss on some super major westerns that I've never bothered with. But I've known this film for like 20 years, and it's wonderful, and everybody should see it. And it won't take you very long because it's only 80 minutes. So it's not like Austin's last pick, where Connor can't even bring it to me when he comes to see me because it's too long. But we could have watched High Noon. We could have watched High Noon twice and still not gotten to the length of the movie.
That's probably the length of the Western stuff in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
but yeah, super
it's also-
super inspirational film. I should mention that too.
Yeah, that's a great Western to recommend to people who really want to get into Westerns. Because like what's also cool about it is that like it's in real time. And so like there is that
That's
kind of
right.
like
I forgot about that.
unusual quality
Yep.
to it. Yeah, and also it has Grace Kelly, who's maybe the most beautiful person who has ever lived. So that's never a bad thing. High Noon is really cool. I've also only seen it the one time in college, but like
I
you,
mean, I've
it
seen it
stuck
2 or
with
3
me,
times.
like-
That's why I put it on the list, but it's been too long.
Yeah, and they issued it on like Blu-ray or something or 4K like pretty recently, and I picked it up and I still mean to watch it again. I always forget it's that short, and that should motivate me to watch it again. But it's quite good.
Mine's an old DVD, but it's got a nice slipcase.
It is cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I should watch that. I need to watch more Westerns. Like that's the genre I've not seen enough of, but I tend to always like them. So
We should do Western Mania, and it'll be all movies neither of us have seen.
and Back to the Future 3.
Right. We'll throw that in there. We'll tack that in just to make everybody groan.
Exactly.
Well, my brother has actually done like a deep dive into Westerns over the last like 4 years. So he could probably give you like a good syllabus for you guys to watch through.
That'd be cool.
If you ever,
Oh yeah, I'd love
I know
that.
you guys were joking, but like if you ever did want to do it,
No, I
he's a great
genuinely want to
listener.
watch more Westerns. Like I said, I love the ones I've seen. So like I would love that.
Yeah, no, I've definitely developed an appreciation through him.
Spencer, if
Connor,
you're in the comments, throw out some westerns and I'll watch them.
what is your last movie of the night, Connor?
I'm not going to take long doing this. I think this is the most recent film on my list, period. Um, it was my favorite film of last year, although it might be considered it came out the year before. It premiered at a festival the year before last, and it actually played theaters last year. So that's the way I go about it. But it is Mike Flanagan's film, The Life of Chuck. Uh, this and when Neon put out this 4K, they did not give it a slipcover, so that's why it's a naked jewel case, in case anybody was wondering. But so this is based on a short story by Stephen King, and it stars Tom Hiddleston. He's the guy on the cover. He's in it for about 20 minutes. The main character for the first half an hour is Chiwetel Ejiofor, but it has a great cast, including Karen Gillan, Mark Hamill, Mia Sara, Jacob Tremblay, Matthew Lillard has a scene.
Yeah, I've
It's
heard
got
Mark
a lot
Hamill
of
talk about this movie, but I've never seen it.
yeah. I don't want to get too much into it. This is one of those movies that hit me at the exact right time in my life. Last year I was experiencing some health issues for months, and I finally got in for a CT scan. And the week between getting that CT scan and getting the results is when I watched this movie. And more than just being in a vulnerable place, it was scary, like not scary, but it was like life affirming and shocking and deeply moving to me to see so much of my own life and parts of my life that have kind of become uniquely my own, sort of presented in a film. And to the degree that I would say, like, this isn't just like my favorite movie of 2025. This is my 2025 condensed, like, emotional experience of 2025 condensed into a movie. And so some people think it's mawkish and cloying and yada yada. I don't care. I couldn't care less. Like, this to me is nearly perfect, and basically everything about it works for me. And yeah, I love it. I'll contrast it to The Tree of Life, which is the movie that I posed last stream with. Which is how I said that movie, it's made by an old man. And what I found very interesting about it is that it wasn't this very emotional experience. It was more meditative than I was expecting it to be. And it led me to believe that, like, maybe being more emotional about your existential musings is a younger man's game. But I am a young man, relatively speaking. And this is about a young man, and it is that emotionally kind of overwhelming kind of experience, and I needed that. And I find it to be a very interesting kind of chorus to kind of contrast it, so to speak, with something like The Tree of Life or Wild Strawberries, which are again more meditative. That's all I'll say about it. I wrote a very, very lengthy review on Letterboxd that does have spoilers, so if anyone's interested, uh, it's just my name on Letterboxd, Connor with an E. Uh, Go read it there. But I love this movie. So my number 61 is The Life of Chuck.
Best movie of the 2020s.
Whoa! I knew you liked it. I didn't know you liked it that much.
Oh wow, I didn't know you'd seen that. Have you talked to me about
Oh,
that movie? I forget.
yeah, because I was like, Happy, you and Jason need to watch this
Okay,
movie.
I'll make sure to pull it out if you guys both have it that high.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's funny he's like
Uh,
this, but watch it be like next video. It's like 2 from now. Like
yeah, my next film is The Life of Chuck.
no, it's not.
No, my next one is a movie that I was very sad to not be able to see in the theater because I was a high school student and it had a very limited release. And I was like, I really want to see this, but there's no way I can talk anyone into driving me like 2 hours to go watch it. And it was finally re-released this year, uh, and I finally got to fix that. And it is, of course, Shin Godzilla, uh, which is a exactly. It's a very punk rock movie.
It's on my runners up.
No, it's wonderful, and it is this like fantastic take on the original movie where like it's very not personal and it's very like broad satire on the government and Japan's reaction, of course, to the tsunami that hit that power plant. And it is very much a deeply political, angry, and satirical movie that is also hopeful by the end. But it's just wonderful. It's one of those movies because like I think the effects are really wonky, but it works for it completely. Where it hits that uncanny valley so hard that Godzilla becomes scary through parts of it. Where I'm like, oh, I don't like looking at that. That's really weird. Especially like in his first couple forms, and then it also doesn't have a main character to really attach to. Like there is a main character, but it's not somebody that you're attached to on a personal level, which is usually something that I struggle with because that's kind of my big in for a lot of things. And it works entirely despite that. And I think this and the last one, minus one, are very interesting companion pieces. And I'm sure I brought that up when we did that spoiler cast in
Yeah.
just different ways to readapt that first movie. But this is also I think I've described this as just being like the absolute Godzilla. If you were to look at it from like the absolute comic line, where it's like, okay, throw out a lot of the stuff that we find recognizable and completely readapt it. And so we kind of start over, and like Godzilla's still, a giant monster lizard that shoots lasers, but it's completely not recontextualized, but like completely redone. Where like he's more like Lovecraftian, and he's constantly shifting, and you have the stuff where he like shoots lasers out of his back and all of that, and it's insane and something you could never do in just like a regular Godzilla film, but like it works perfectly in this, and it makes him so horrifying. And one of the most beautiful things in any of these movies is that initial sequence where he like breathes fire down onto Tokyo. It's so good. And yeah, I'm glad I finally got to rectify getting to see it on the big screen.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw when it
that was
came
like a
out.
Fathom Events. That was like a Fathom Events like 2 night thing, right? When it came
Yeah,
out.
it
Yeah,
did not get a wide release.
Yeah, no, when he breathes fire and just like ignites this the skyline, I was like my body, like my soul left my body. I was like levitating. I was like, this is this is why I go to the movies, baby.
oh yeah, no, it's amazing.
Well, there's this really cool like feeling of mystery with Godzilla in that because like you don't know what he's capable of, and like you said, he keeps shifting forms. Like, what's his next one gonna be? And so like
Yeah,
part of the reason it's like oddly creepy for that character because you just have no idea what he's even able to do.
yeah, no, exactly. Like even just the cliffhanger where we find out he's like spawning human-sized Godzillas off of his
Oh
head,
yeah, that was not.
and
I
you're
forgot
like,
about that part.
whoa.
I haven't seen that since it came out.
Yeah, I think there was talk recently that they're gonna put out a sequel, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it much. But it would be interesting while they're also putting out, 8 billion other traditional Godzilla things.
Well, since minus one is getting one, it might be nice if that got one too. I don't exactly know what you do with it. Like it's kind of clear what you would do with -1, just because like there are established characters that you would follow up with.
And that might even give it more freedom to get weirder. Like,
Yeah.
we have traditional Godzilla over here. Like, go insane. Like, I think it was in like the art book they had like the detailings of what like other forms would be, and one of them is like he creates a new universe like within him
Oh
that's like
my god.
self-sustaining, and you're like, what?
How do you even visualize that?
I don't know. This is the man who made End of Evangelion. To which you can say he just made
Oh, I
Evangelion, but I need
forgot.
to specify he made End of
Yeah,
Evangelion.
I
Okay.
forgot that was that same guy. Okay. That guy's got a matchless imagination, but I have no idea what the hell's happening.
Exactly. And
I've
God
seen
bless.
Neon Genesis Evangelion. I also had a hard time understanding what was happening in End of Evangelion.
I'll never understand it,
But
but it was
yeah,
cool.
yeah, I respect the hell out of it. It's if you watch the show, like all of the episodes get like a number in the title card. And when you watch End of Evangelion, it's basically a redux of the last 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wait, we're like paving over. So like, wait, hold on. What I gotta remind myself, like, where is this starting? What are we grafting over? Like that was that was hard to.
I'm just glad Evangelion now gets to cross over with Sonic. And just
Yes.
in time, Godzilla's also crossing over with
With
Sonic.
Sonic, yeah, it's so weird. I haven't played that racing game in a while, so I haven't updated it. But I want to get at least the Godzilla content.
Oh yeah, no, it looks cool.
They're doing Ninja Turtles content too, but I don't care about that because it's Mutant Mayhem, and I don't like those designs.
I don't know. That blew my mind when that trailer came out because everyone was like, "Oh man, Godzilla's in the Sonic racing game," and I was like, "Guys, Evangelion is in the Sonic racing game. That's way weirder."
It's 100 times weirder. It was the last thing on Earth you thought would suddenly cross in. Okay, my last movie for the night oddly has a couple of things in common with what Connor just described. Um, Partly with the life-affirming experience that he was describing that he had with it, but also because it's another movie that has the word life in the title. My 61 is It's a Wonderful Life, which is one of the most like obvious like obligatory kinds of picks that you can go to. But I had to put it on my list because I had kind of like a life changing sort of experience the first time I saw it, and it's one of those movies that I kind of avoided when I was a kid because like it's on TV all the time at Christmas time, and you've heard about it a million times to the point where you feel like you've seen it already. It was one of those obligatory things. I've had this with a few other things. I had that with Casablanca for the longest time, and then I finally watched that, and I was like, where the hell has this movie been my whole life? I had the same thing with It's a Wonderful Life, which ended up being more up my alley than I ever could have expected because I've said this about 3 or 4 movies on my list so far, probably. It's another one of those movies that is kind of a Twilight Zone episode, although it's with like a sort of O. Henry ending that's not like depressing and sad, but like the best possible ending happens at the end that makes you kind of appreciate the things and the people in your life more than before you started watching it. But everybody knows It's a Wonderful Life. I'm not going to talk a lot about the premise with this, but what's kind of surprising about it is how long it takes through the movie before you get to the supernatural premise and the conceit with it. Because when people talk about this movie, they talk about it kind of like a Christmas Carol sort of situation, and like it has a bit of that, but it's really just the third act. I always forget that until I go back and sit down and watch it again. We spend a long time establishing this protagonist and his life and his family and the situation he's in, and you don't even really get the big conflict that makes him want to go jump off a bridge, and then wish to live in a world where he doesn't exist, until really late in the game. And it's kind of shocking how well that works. Where if you think about it, you're spending. I mean, it's kind of a character study. So like you're also getting, like the pros and cons of the man, like kind of the flaws that will lead you to his not appreciating what he has enough and kind of taking his family for granted. But so much of it is like establishing status quo before you break it. It's odd the way it kind of breaks the rules of narrative and still really ends up working by the end. Because the way I always heard this movie described, I always figured when you watch it, you'd get uh like the angel, immediately in the first 5 minutes, and I think they maybe set that up. I can't remember, but it's like really late in the game before that premise actually happens, and then you get the like uh dystopian present day of Back to the Future 2, which is probably looking at this like a million other things are. But anyway, yeah. How do I not include It's a Wonderful Life? One of the most interesting things about that movie is that it didn't perform very well first time out. It broke even at the box office. I looked this up. It cost $3 million to make. It made $3 million at the box office, and that was it. And for a lot of years, it wasn't talked about and really thought of. It is now, again, played every Christmas and major classic movie. It's kind of crazy how long it took for people to discover it again. And and I don't know, like it is a Christmas movie. Of course, like it is set in that period, but like less Christmassy overall than a lot of other quote unquote Christmas movies. Um, because it's kind of just more in uh the message of the whole thing even than like the trappings of it. Um, so I'm glad that like not every classic Christmas movie has to be like, Miracle on 34th Street or something.
That's because I've not seen it. That's the movie with yeah, I know. Go to my shame corner. I know. I need to watch it.
I mean, I
That's
didn't
where the
until like 10 years ago, finally.
that's where the like every time a baby laughs or whatever, an angel gets its wings.
Yeah.
That always makes me think of when I was a kid. One of my brothers, who was, I don't know, he was probably like 3, and he was like, every time a baby cries, an angel gets its wings. We should all just start punching babies. Like, why are we doing that? We need more of them to cry. This makes me think.
If you game the system like that, God probably just changes the rules. He's like, this isn't working. We gotta do this some other way.
Yeah, I think the case could be made that It's a Wonderful Life is the greatest American film that's ever been made. Like, it's so good. Like, oh my god.
It's like, yeah,
the last time I
it's
watched
ridiculous how good it
that,
is.
the last time I watched it, it was New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve rather. In 2024, I was down in Los Angeles visiting my brother and his roommate, and his roommate's mom was visiting as well. And we were just sitting around a table. We were playing some board game, and they threw it on the TV. And it was just a thing where every so often we'd just stop and just start watching the scene that was on. We'd all start crying, and then we just go back to playing our board game. Like, even if when you're in the middle of like competitively playing a board game, Welcome Home, Mr. Bailey will bring a tear to my eye. Like, that is like, oh my god. um, it's so good. Oh my god.
And it's the movie that Robin makes Batman sit down and watch at the end of the Christmas with the Joker episode.
Which is a great gag. Lovely little story arc for that
Yeah, it's
for
neat.
that episode.
Yeah, I should
You
finally watch
know,
that this Christmas.
I believe one
should.
man truly can make a difference.
Yeah, it's great. Well, anyway, I think that's all of our movies for today. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you again next week with more. Connor, thanks again for taking time out of your busy schedule to show up and talk about movies. And
Yeah.
I kind of hit a landmark this time because this is the first time that all 5 of my movies I had physical copies of.
Boop, boop.
I think I might have it next time too. Although I'm gonna start just looking ahead and buying the ones I don't have. Or at least I should do that. It's like these are my favorite movies. I don't even have copies of them.
I've done that a little bit. There's a couple where I'm like, I need to get this. I tried to get Once Upon a Time in Hollywood today, and then it wouldn't come in time.
Yeah, that sucks. Have either of you guys rewatched a movie yet for this? Where you're like, I haven't seen that
No.
in so long that I kind of want to see it again just so I can even talk about it.
I did rewatch for a few dollars more so it could qualify for this list.
Oh, okay, sure, but not like day
Wasn't-
of. You didn't watch one.
No, no.
Because I think you had one last time where you were like, I had this on in the background today, but it wasn't like you were watching it for research or something.
No, no, yeah.
There is one that is on my list week that I'm like, for like the last couple weeks, I'm like, oh man, I want to rewatch that. I know it's coming up on my list. I should rewatch that. But I don't know if I will before we get there.
I've got that with one too. That's just been so long. I'm like, I'm gonna just throw it up and be like, watch this movie. It's great. I don't remember anything about it, but it has to be on this list.
Well, more just like excited, like, oh man,
Oh, you just want
that's
to.
on my list soon. Like, I should rewatch that. It's great.
I've had that
feel
with
like
some stuff too, where I'm getting in the mood for stuff. But you guys also are making me want to watch stuff on from your lists that I've never seen. Particularly that kind of like offbeat dark western that Connor was talking about a couple weeks ago.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
High Plains Drifter.
Yeah, I really want to see that.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
it's a
about
good-
that today. I was like, I really need to watch that. What was it called again? I know Robert watched it. I can find it on his letterbox.
Yeah, Robert keeps trying to get me to watch that.
Yeah, no, like it's good October viewing for like a Western, I'd say. But no, it's same goes, for you guys. Like, I want to see The Man from Earth.
Everybody's got to watch The
That's
Man
what
from Earth.
it's and I mean, anytime Austin is gonna bring up like The Howling 2, like I gotta see The Howling 2.
It's a beautiful picture.
Well, this has been crazy fun. Learning a lot about you guys and really enjoying it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again next time. I was Captain Logan. We had Austin the Day Ghost
Good night, everybody.
and Connor Nielsen.
Ciao.